Hello students, today we are going to start new topic from unit number 1, that is section 1, prose section. Everybody likes to visit forests, jungles, and they are called woods. Woods are lovely, dark and deep, and I have promises to keep before I go to sleep. That is miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep. This is the famous poem written by Robert Frost. In his famous poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, the last few lines are, "Woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep." Really, woods are lovely, dark and deep, but we have to give promises to keep them, preserve them. Today, we will start such a beautiful lesson about wildlife and how the author does hard work, sacrifices his life to go to the wild, and the name of the topic is Into the Wild. This topic is written by Kiran Purandare. But before we start our actual lesson, let us try to solve some icebreakers. Narrate in your class any of the incidents of your life when you were extremely terrified or awestruck. Try to narrate incident to your father, brother, or to your class. The next is complete the given table regarding the factors or situations or reasons why you sometimes get scared, and the factors that add to it give possible solutions. Here reasons are given, factors are given, and solutions are given. The first is done for you. For example, reason: while discussing about strange creatures, you say at midnight or in the absence of parents. And solution: avoid such discussions or stories as they are baseless. Here we can write, when I lose my way. A factor: at lonely place, when I lose my way, what shall I do? What is the solution? And solution is, get the map with me. Next time I will take map with me, so I will not find in difficulty. The next year, before the exams, what happens before the exam? Not prepared well, we are under tension or scared. We get scared because we have not prepared well, and next time I will study hard, or study hard is the main solution. Here given below are various activities which you can pursue as your hobby, passion or profession. Complete the table accordingly. Activities are given here, whether it is your hobby, passion, profession, and why do you want to do so, reason or challenge or both. Painting, for example, your hobby, your passion, your profession, because I can express myself well through the stories of brush. Then traveling is hobby, passion, profession. In tourism, there is a great demand for professional tourist guides. Wildlife photography. Do you remember the picture, that is movie Three Idiots? One of the three idiots, one idiot wanted to become wildlife photographer, but unfortunately he was forced to do engineering. Here wildlife photographer, yes. Passion, yes. In the age of computers, limited professional scope is there. Then conservation, of environment, means conserving environment, not hobby, but it is my passion. Because yes, profession, I want to do profession. It is the need of time. We have to protect environment. That's why it is the need of time. Then bird watching, yes. Passion, yes. Profession, no. But it is interesting and rewarding. That's why I want to watch birds. Now match the following wildlife sanctuaries with their locations. Here names are given and locations are given. Try. Of course, I am going to give you answers also, but before that, just think. Bandipur National Park, then Kaziranga National Park, Jim Corbett National Park, Ranthambore National Park, Kanha National Park. Locations are Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Assam and Rajasthan. What is the location of the first Bandipur or Bandipur National Park? Of course, it is in Karnataka. Then Kaziranga National Park, it is in Assam. Jim Corbett National Park, it is in Uttarakhand. Ranthambore National Park, it is in Rajasthan. And Kanha National Park, Madhya Pradesh. Now let us get some information about Kiran Purandare. Kiran Purandare was born in 1961. He is still working there. After BCom, he studied environmental studies at Jordan Hill College of Education in Scotland. He is recipient of Sahitya Puraskar, Pune's Bhai Madhav Bagal Award and Best Literature Award given by Cultural Department of Maharashtra State for his famous book Sakha Nagzira. And the whole lesson we are going to see is based on Sakha Nagzira. He spent 400 days inside Nagzira and nearby forest areas and wrote this award-winning book. This excerpt, that is extract, has been taken from the same. He is a wildlife expert, a bird watcher, a writer, and honorary wildlife warden in Maharashtra. He is also founder of Nisarga Ved organization, which works for nature conservation and community work around Nagzira, Navegaon, a tiger reserve in Bhandara and Gondia district. He also found Kika's Bird Club in order to spread bird farming, which is very popular among school-going children of Maharashtra. So this is the introduction of the famous, well-known writer Kiran Purandare. As the part 1, the introduction, this is a summary of the part 1. As the name suggests, the excerpt, that is extract, is an amazing experience of the writer where Kiran Purandare, the solitary traveler, is completely lost in the jungle of Umbarzara. This is the jungle of Umbarzara. He narrates how he lost his way at the fall of the dusk and terrifying turmoil, confusion he underwent thereafter. Shouting for help, he would literally mean crying in the wilderness. He also gives a detailed description of how he found the way towards Pitezhari. Now the lesson starts from here. into the wild. How he lost in the jungle. Writer says, the 8.5 hour long day inside hide means hiding place, was as fruitful as jamba tree standing tall on the edge of Umbarzara. That is jamba tree, we call it zambu. And they were very tall, and he was standing tall on the edge of Umbarzara. Before wrapping up my day at this natural waterhole, I took entries of the avifauna. It is given there, birds of a particular region, habitat or geological period. Such writer went there, and before he started his journey, he tried to guess some of the birds which were permanently living there. And so, not to notice anybody, he camouflaged the hide, took my essentials. Camouflage means he has disguised by covering it to make it a blend in with the surroundings. I took my essentials, came out of the hide and stretched out my heart's content. I lifted my camera bag and took the familiar trail it Vizhari, negotiating the webbed leaves of teakwood and moha trees. We will come to that moha trees also. So, how he started his journey, it is given here in this paragraph. Then, he heard a sound, kak, 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 shh, kak. It was a langur. You must have seen langurs. Yes, this is langur. Langur was sitting on the tall tree making alarm calls out of fear of life. Langurs are very important, and as soon as they sense of any that is danger, for example, either any leopard, tiger or lion comes to attack them, they start making different kind of noises, and they alert other animals also. So there was also rest of langur brigade, the family, that is group of, or army, brigade means here army of langurs was there. And how these petrified langurs speeded to trees near and far and secured their places on treetops. All upheaval, they started crying loudly upheaval when they saw the presence of leopard. Leopard is kind of tiger, chitta in Marathi. Many animals make alarm calls when they see the predator. Predators means the attacker. They are in search of their prey, P-R-E-Y, laksha, bhaksha in Marathi. So tiger or leopard nearby, and they started crying, making different kinds of sounds. So this is what happened here in this paragraph. Then writer said, I stayed put, gauged by the leader langur's target sight, and scanned the area visually, took some steps forward. Again a fresh scat, that is dropping in Marathi, vishta, was lying before me on the trail, and the bluish purple flies were hovering. Hovering means here fluttering in the air. It was sure that there was the leopard was somewhere near. The distant alarm call of four-horned antelope, in Marathi male deer, kalvit, antelope, was adding to the chaos. Means when langur started crying or making sound, antelope also started crying or making sound, and it alerted other animals. And they also, the writer and his friend also noticed that there was danger ahead. So these are animals, wild animals. Then what happened next? Meanwhile, writer says, as I approached, he appeared spooked. His friend, he was frightened. And then, because the jungle was protected by the Forest Development Corporation of India, and it is the duty of Forest Corporation to protect forest, to protect trees and plant more trees, and to also give protection or shelter to wildlife. This is what the topic, so this paragraph about. Let us go ahead. Then writer says, walked across beautiful mahu tree. Mahu tree in Marathi मोहाचं झाड. Mahu tree laden with reddish brown leaves. This is mahu tree, and mahu flowers, they are also used for making wine or alcohol, and also medicinal uses are there. So this is what happened here. Then some gorge was, they say, saw some gorge, a narrow gully between hillocks. Hillocks means so many hills. The trail which took me to the narrow gorge or gully to an open field. The area was surrounded by hillocks of dry deciduous tropical forest. Deciduous means having trees that shed leaves in the dry season. उष्णकटिबंधातील पानझडी वृक्ष त्याला बोलतात. Deciduous tropical forest. I turned back to spot the sun, because the jungle was so thick, so wild. So he had to walk around, turn back to spot the sun. Now the geographical west was set. The dusky trail had vanished. Good heavens, he was relieved. I was lost, writer says. I was lost, completely lost in the jungle. Because the forest was so dark, so dense, he could not find a way out. That too at a very dreadful time. The sun was melting down like a fleeting runner. Means sun was about to set. So situation became very dangerous. Then soaked in my own sweat. Look at the sentence. He started sweating. Soaked by my own sweat, I felt shouting my heart's content. And I had 2 bags with me. And the name of the bag was Shabnam bag. Nowadays, you do not have any Shabnam bag. When we were students, we used to carry Shabnam bags with us. Do you know what is Shabnam bag? Have you ever seen? You might not have seen that. Here is Shabnam bag. This type of bag we used to just hang around our shoulder and go to college in our college days. And then he heard the sound, boop boop sound of koel bird. Actually, koel bird starts swinging very sweetly. This is a koel bird, and also another bird, a robin bird. This is a robin bird. Then it was more than an hour, and I was still there searching for suitable tree to climb and get secured. Because in the jungle, it was unsafe. It was dangerous to sleep on the ground. So he wanted to climb onto the tree and find safe place. So what happened there? There were more hillocks, small hills, and some more around. I was standing near my feet where the dried up droppings of sloth beer. We will see the pictures of sloth beer later. The sloth beer of Umbarzara must be out in open snipping for food. I cautioned myself because there was danger of sloth bear also, and if bear comes, his life would come into danger. Sloth bear of Umbarzara. Look at the picture here. Then after 50 steps, I found a bright red soil trail. I found my silver lining on the trail. There were marks of bicycle wheel on the train. Means that it was a symbol of human being living nearby. And that was a big consolation for me. And they said, there must be a village nearby. I reassured myself. More questions resurfaced. How far is the village? And where? In which direction? So, these were small hillocks, small hills. Then writer saw droppings of blue bulls nearby. Blue bulls, see the picture, Nilgai in Marathi. Nilgai, Nilbail, but it is said Nilgai. Struggle stood up, decided which direction to move on. By seeing the droppings, विष्ठा, शेण, आपण गाईच्या किंवा जनावरांच्या शेण म्हणतो, माणसाची विष्ठा असते. So stood up and decided which direction to move. The signs of civilization were visible, and the tiny sleepy village of Pitezari was visible through the green woods. The lantern of Rajiram Bhalvi's farm, the loudspeaker installed for Keshav Bhalvi's marriage, all were in clear sight. So he was so relieved, very happy, because there was nearby, people were living, village was there, and he could go there and take shelter. So this is the village, and this is sanctuary made by the government. And finally, at the end of this part, he says there still exists a jungle where we can get lost. Means it is just a satisfactory thing, optimistic thing, that there are such jungles or forests preserved where one goes, one can get lost, or one can loses his way. And this is the first part about the writer's thrilling experience when he lost in the jungle of Umbarzara. This is the end of part 1. Wait for the next part.